German Defence Minister Boris Pistorius is in New Delhi. The high-level visit aims to strengthen the bilateral defence cooperation and explore avenues for strategic partnership. The German Defence Minister will meet his Indian counterpart Rajnath Singh today, while the specific details of the visit remain under covers. For now, the reports say the visit agenda includes promoting a submarine deal between the two nations. Now, tomorrow, Boris Pistorius will travel to Mumbai, where he is likely to visit India's Western Naval Command. Before arriving in India, Pistorius told news outlet DW that India's dependence on Russian weapons is not in Germany's long-term interest. While New Delhi's security cooperation with Western nations has increased, it continues to rely on Russia for defense and oil imports. India has long-standing security ties with Russia and has refused to condemn the invasion of Ukraine over the past year. However, Prime Minister Narendra Modi told Vladimir Putin last year that this is not a time for war. India was one of the first countries to end the state of war with post-war Germany in 1951. It was also among the first countries to recognize the Federal Republic of Germany. Today, Germany is amongst India's most important partners, both bilaterally and in the global context. A bilateral defence cooperation agreement was signed in 2006, which provides a framework for annual consultations. Remember, Berlin is also among New Delhi's Indo-Pacific allies.
Thank you all for joining.
For more on this, we're now being joined by Principal Diplomatic Correspondent Siddhant Sibal. Siddhant, thank you so much for joining us. What can you tell us of this visit, its schedule? Also, as I mentioned earlier, Pistorius did tell a news outlet that India's dependence on Russian weapons is not in Germany's long-term interest. So how do you see this affecting dialogue going forward?
Well, the German Defence Minister arrived here in New Delhi yesterday evening, and in a short while from now, he will be given guard of honour, which will be followed, of course, by the talks between the German side and the Indian side. Now, two key focus areas remain on the table. First, of course, the submarine deal. India is planning on inducting more submarines and is looking for a foreign partner. And for this, the Germans are very keen. So far, it is a conversation that has been evolving, but with the visit of the German Defence Minister, it is expected to get more impetus. In fact, the German Defence Minister, ahead of his visit, spoke to media and talked about his keenness on the submarine deal. The second, of course, remains the issue of Indo-Pacific. The Germans were among the first country to issue a policy on Indo-Pacific. Their ships visited the region and, of course, India as well last year. And soon they are keen that more ships come to Indo-Pacific. They are, of course, aware of the Chinese aggressive actions in the region and, of course, have had conversations with the Indian side as to how to deal with the Chinese aggressive actions and, of course, worry over China, to phrase it in that way. But essentially, of course, Russia remains an issue as well for the German side, and we know that he again spoke to the German media and talked about how they will be keen that India should not be dependent on the Russian defense equipments. India imports a lot of Russian defense equipment, and almost 60% to 70% of its needs are fulfilled by Russia. So India is trying to diversify, whether it's with the Americans, whether it's with the Europeans, and Germans, of course, want to play a key role in that.
Right, absolutely, Siddhant. As I mentioned earlier as well, tomorrow you will travel to Mumbai, where he is likely to visit India's Western Naval Command. So what can we expect there?
Well, he will be travelling to Mumbai, and we have seen in past few months, in fact some years as well, whenever a defence minister travels to India, he makes sure he travels to Mumbai or Goa, so that India can showcase its own defence equipments and, of course, how India is planning to increase its naval power. In fact, if I can give you certain examples, the Australian Defence Minister had visited India just few months ago. In fact, just last year, he had started his visit from Goa. There are other defence ministers as well. And now, of course, the German Defence Minister will be travelling to Mumbai. And essentially, the focus will be on how India is getting ready and India is investing on its naval superiority at a time when the Indian Ocean has seen a lot of geopolitical flux, including, of course, worry over illegal fishing, something that many believe is backed by China.
Right. Well, Siddhant, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. We will, of course, continue to monitor this very closely. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.